Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, I cannot complain.
You haven't seen the news then.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I understand. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 009804, State versus Julius Tovar. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Pat Montgomery for Julius Tovar.
And are you Mr. Tovar?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be restitution to the SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that?
Yes.
As the plea?
Yeah.
All right. Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, ma'am. We'll waive a pre-sentence investigation and ask the court to follow the plea bargain.
All right. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, he's 21. He's, I think, on the path to straighten himself out.
Mhm.
We do have a case in County Court 7 we're going to resolve tomorrow, and he'll be on probation, deferred adjudication on that case as well.
All right. Is Child Protective Services involved in this case?
Not that I know of either, Judge.
Why not? Because there's a child in the car.
Yeah, it's not my kid. No,
Oh, it said, oh, you're the stepfather?
yeah.
So do you have any children with this Layla Monique Esquivel?
No.
You don't? All right. How far did you go in school?
12th grade.
Did you graduate?
No, man.
Why not?
I never got to finish.
Why not?
They kicked me out.
Why?
Skipping,
Why were you skipping?
bad crowds.
I mean, you're a part of the bad crowd
Yeah.
because if you're skipping with other people, you all are skipping together. What's with the tattoo on the arm?
No, I've been having these.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. 5 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Layla Monique Esquivel. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Who do you live with?
Her father-in-law, my father-in-law.
Who is your, wait a minute. Is this Layla Monique Esquivel?
Yeah.
Are you all married?
No.
All right, so that's not your father-in-law then. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And does she live there?
No.
That's odd. So why are you staying with, I just get curious sometime.
I've
It
been.
may not have anything to do with the price of peaches, but we're gonna see. So why are you living with her father-in-law?
Well, I've been around the family for a while. Well, she lives with her mom. I live with her dad.
All right. Well, you're not allowed to have any contact. There's to be no contact with minors. So if there's minors in that household, you're gonna have to go. Why are you not staying with your parents?
Well, my mom went to California, and my dad. That's the case.
What other, oh, he has another case with his father?
It's in County Court 7.
Oh, so that's an assault case.
Yes, ma'am. There's
Okay.
an assault case.
There's to be no contact with minors, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. When's the last time you used?
5 months ago.
And what were you using?
Marijuana.
And what else?
That was it.
All right, there's to be a TAP evaluation and a referral to felony drug court. He needs a lot of help.
I like felony drug court, Judge. They do good work.
All right, so that's gonna be done in custody, felony drug court referral. They should be able to see him this week.
Thank you, ma'am.
There is going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. 200 hours will be deducted if you obtain your GED or if you are in some type of trade school and you obtain your certificate or some higher level of education. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Restitution to SAPD for lab testing. Counsel, if you think that lab testing is an outrageous amount, let the court know.
I'm gonna guess it's $68, but we'll see.
$2,000 fine, that will be probated. All right, you all are blocking my view from probation, and probation can't hear because probation wears glasses like me, and if you don't see, sometimes you don't hear.
Come on, Charles.
All right, thank you. We can go off the record. Let me explain something to you. When you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, even if it's at your house. You're not allowed to possess any weapons. Do you understand? You're not allowed to use drugs. So if there's some reason why you have marijuana, if there's some mental health issues, do you have any mental health issues? Let probation know about it. Do you understand?
Yes.
And this court, to be successful, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. You understand?
Yes.
And I'm serious about that no contact with Layla Esquivel. You all should not be around each other, and you definitely should not be around anyone who has a child because you're not grown up yet. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And when I say grown up, you're not thinking about things. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 012902 State versus Timothy Zapata. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Robert Mauer for defendant.
Okay, and are you Mr. Zapata?
Sure.
Okay. All right, you entered a plea on February 25th to count 1 of guilty. State waived count 2 without objection. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 12 years. There are no applications. The state is taking in consideration 2024 CR 012900. And both parties agreed to waive the PSI. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Any witnesses state?
No.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yeah, it's just my client.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So,
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Timothy Andrew Zapata.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Timothy, would you tell the judge about your issues with drugs?
I've been on drugs for a very long time, since I was a kid. And this time I was granted parole. I think I did pretty good on parole for a little bit. And as you can see, I came out clean a lot of through my whole parole. But at the last couple of months, I relapsed.
Okay.
And I started using methamphetamines. And I have a job, I held a job. I tried my best to stay out the way, but human like everybody else. And I have problems and I go through it. And that's the first thing I run to is the drugs.
All right, and I'm sorry for interrupting your questioning, but what drugs? What type?
Methamphetamines.
Okay,
And
and how often were you using?
well, in the beginning, I was only using probably like maybe a gram, maybe a day, but then I started using more for the fact that I had a job, so I could afford to buy it. And right now, the way it looks out there, you could get it anywhere. And everybody gets it there. It's an epidemic. It's out there. And it's hard to avoid it. And I got it started getting a little bit depressed because over the years, I lost a lot of people during my time incarcerated. And I buried a lot of people in prison. I did. And I came out and I didn't get to tell them bye. So now I know I took the wrong path. If I would have kept my nose clean, I would have been off of here in July of next year. I would have been good. But like I said, I run into problems myself. So I took it upon myself. When I was getting high, I took off on a curfew violation. But I came back home The next day I went to work, and that's what my parole officer told me I had a warrant for my arrest.
Let me ask you a question. So I'm sure the judge is thinking the same thing. So if you knew you had a drug problem, why didn't you seek help while you were out?
I did in AA, and I tried my best to cooperate, but like, I showed up to almost every NA there. I used to go to Guadalupe parole office, and that's what I was used to go do. They this new thing that's on the phone. I really don't know how to work that new stuff, so it's hard to do in the rooms. So I couldn't really get help. For the most part, I was just worried about my drug addiction. And I
Why did
started,
this result in you cutting off a monitor?
one day when I went to work, back to work Monday morning, during lunchtime, my PO got a hold of my boss and told me that I had a warrant. That if I wanted to turn myself in, that I would do so by 5 o'clock. But since I've been up days on drugs, I kind of flipped out and just took it upon myself just to run with it. I didn't want to get locked up because I knew I was going to get locked up no matter when. And I figured that I'd just run and see how far I could get, because I didn't want to go back to jail. I didn't want to come back to prison.
So which you understand that the only options the judge has is the amount of time she sentences you to, right?
Yes, I
So
understand that.
what are you asking the judge to do?
I'm seeing if she would have leniency on the sentence. I know she's a fair judge, and I know you're an honorable judge, and not give me that length of time that's on the table. Give me the help that I need, and send me the programs that I could. I never asked for a program before or asked for help, so it's never been on it's been on my ITP, but I've never been sent to one. So it's like I've been, like if I gotten kicked out of
Okay, so
prison.
let me just tell you something so that you can be aware of this.
Yes.
Your attorney knows this.
Yes,
I've done parole hearings before.
yes,
And actually, I would always tell my clients, being on parole is easier than being on state probation. And I know that parole, they give you a lot of chances. And they give you a lot of chances when you're testing positive for drugs. And they actually have more access to programs than they do in the state courts. So you need to keep it 100 with me. You understand?
yes, I understand, Your Honor. That's what I'm trying to say is that when I was trying my best on parole, I think I did pretty good as far as the end of the month, the end of that time that I got, when I was on drugs, that I ran. And when I took whatever drugs I had on me, I went down the street, 12 blocks down.
Mhm.
I only had the TDC ID on me. Motel said I could rent a place out for 2 days. And I said, I was surprised that those world's dumbest criminals you could put on your file, because they let me rent out a room with the TDC ID. And I stayed there and I did my drugs. The next day I left to figure out what was I gonna do, how was I gonna live, or where was I gonna stay at. But when I came back home, I mean, back to the motel, they apprehended me.
Judge, I'm gonna ask you, the state can ask you questions.
Any questions?
Yes, sir, Mr. Zapata,
Yes,
you were convicted in 2004 of assault committed by a second and received 2 years, is that right?
yes,
And then you were convicted in 2013 of assault committed by a second and received 5 years, is that right?
yes,
And then also in 2019, you were also convicted of that assault on a family member, got 7 years,
yes,
is that correct?
yes,
I'm sorry, Mr. Zapata.
yes.
No further questions.
There's nothing further.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. And Mr. Zapata, based upon the convictions that are being read to me, you know, your attorney did an excellent job for you. The court is finding you guilty. The court will ask for the therapeutic community for you. So I have no jurisdiction to place you in that program. You'll have to request it as well, but they'll see it in the court's judgment. Court is going to give you credit for any time served, taking consideration 2024 CR 012900. There's a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent, and the court will sentence you to 12 years in the prison. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 5275 State versus Christian Chavez.
We are ready, Judge.
Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Robert Mauer for defendant, Judge.
And are you Christian Chavez?
Yes.
You're charged with failure to stop and render aid, causing injury or death. That's one of those hybrid felonies. So your range of punishment is not more than 5 years in the prison or confinement in the county jail for not more than 1 year with a fine not more than $5,000. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you to the maximum range of punishment? Do you understand? According to the plea, state recommends deferred adjudication. This is run concurrent with County Court Cause number 712884. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, sir.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be 100 hours community service restitution and the driver's safety course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. Right, so my understanding there is no death in this case.
No, Judge, and it's an unusual case that, and Mr. Edelman and I conferred about it. And one of the reasons I was going to ask the court to waive the PSI, there was an accident. He was actually contacted a couple blocks down the street. The officers performed physical body tests, no indication of alcohol. EMS responded, but he didn't want to be transported. I think they may have had a concussion or something, but he did in fact, I mean, since it's pretty much a strict liability offense for leaving the scene,
Mhm.
it's met its definition, and my client's happy with the deferred. I think Mr. Edelman's made contact with the complainant. There's no restitution issue involved. And there was no indication of alcohol or drug use at all in the accident.
All right, so what is your client's criminal history?
Judge, he's on probation or on deferred for a obstruction of a highway that took place after this offense that expires today.
All right. So the court will sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. This is run concurrent with County Court Cause number 712884. 100 hours of community service restitution. Do you have any children?
I do.
What are their ages?
Today, 10, 8, 6, and 1.
All right, I'm gonna order parenting classes. Once he completes those, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. What do you do for employment?
I'm in sales. I'm a realtor. I work in construction.
All right, there's to be the driver safety course. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Probation, we'll do a TAP evaluation out of custody. And if there's a recommendation of inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. We can go off the record. How old are you?
32.
All right, so you know better. Here's the thing. You wouldn't even be in this court right now if you would have just stopped and exchanged information. Accidents happen. Sometimes they happen because people don't know the rules of the road, and sometimes they happen because people are just driving crazy and driving over the speed limit. And I see that both of you were driving over the speed limit. Don't leave scenes of crime. You understand?
I do.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Eric Mitchell,
Morning, Judge.
good morning.
How was your weekend?
Oh, it was great. A lot of moving, so I still have boxes to unpack.
Oh,
So
that's the
trying to
worst.
find things. All right, so we are here, all discovery received.
Correct.
So where are we? Are we state you tendered an offer? And yes,
I was gonna say, we're rejecting that offer, Judge.
all right. How long do you expect this jury trial to last?
Yeah. Let's say for the dates, please, in 2 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, 2-day jury trial on Mitchell.
And Judge, the defense might need 2 days as well, just so the court's aware.
June 3rd. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you,
All
Judge.
right, it'll be June 3rd. You're gonna be brought over dressed in whatever attire you have at the jail. If you wish to be attired in something different, just let your attorney know and you'll need to do a exchange of clothing. If for any reason there's an issue with that, let the court know.
Of course, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a good one. Who is here on Karen Garnica? All right, where are we on discovery? Okay,
Yeah, we just need to show to the finding letter a couple of documents, so consider possible plea at the next hearing.
all right, so has an offer been tendered? And how old are you?
27.
All right, Norm, if I can have a 2-week reset for plea deadline date on Garnica, please.
Yes,
Thank you, Your Honor.
I can do that on the 18th.
All right, it's going to be on March 18th. You need to come back and let the court know if you have reached an agreement and make sure you're on time, okay? All right, once you sign the reset form, you are excused. All right, just have a seat and your
Thank you.
attorney will be give you the reset form. Court is calling 2023 CR 0474, State of Texas versus Alfredo Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Donald Wilson from the defense.
And are you Mr. Rodriguez? Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 1 to 4 grams? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2025 PF 05670. Did you understand that to be the plea? Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, Mr. Rodriguez is trying to be responsible. He has a son that he has custody of and is raising. He has a job lined up. I do not believe he has a drug problem at this time. The TAP evaluation, I think, will reflect that. And so we're asking the court to go along with the agreement and give him a chance on deferred.
How old is your child? And who is your child with now? All right. And is Child Protective Services involved? Were they ever involved? How far did you go in school?
Didn't graduate. I went to 9th grade.
All right, so what do you do?
Case management.
All right. And when's the last time you used?
Been a month.
1 month? All right, you shouldn't be taking care of your child if you've only been clean for a month.
But it wasn't doing it. It was just something.
All right, so let me ask you this. Let's say that you need somebody to babysit your child and your mom is not available, right?
So,
And let's say you do your due diligence and you come upon my name. And somebody says, oh, Stephanie's a great babysitter. She's the Black Mary Poppins, right? Everybody loves her. But you're diligent and you say, you know what? Let me just test her out. Even though all my friends and even though my mom likes her, let me be in the house while she babysits. So you're in the house, everything goes well. Your son loves me. He's like, Dad, please let it be her. And you're like, yeah, she's good. My son really likes her. And as I'm leaving, your house. You tell me, Stephanie, you're the perfect choice for this position, and I'm gonna want you here on a daily basis to babysit. You understand my fact scenario? Now, let's say I'm being honest. And I said, well, let me just tell you something that didn't pop up. I used to use drugs. The last time I used was a month ago. And even then, it was just meth, and it was only once in a while. Would you let me babysit your child? No, but would you let me babysit your child? So there you go. All right. So this is what the court is going to do. 4 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's going to be regular random UAs. In custody, I'm going to want a TAP evaluation and a referral to felony drug court. Felony drug court will be able to see you probably today or tomorrow. Be honest with them. All right. Because you're trying to be a good parent to your son, and you can't be if you're using drugs once in a while. All right. So follow TAP recommendations if he's not accepted. Take in consideration 2025 PF 05670. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, then 100 hours of those community service hours will be deducted. The remaining 100 hours will be deducted upon completion of a GED or trade school. If you decide, you know what, I don't want to do any of that, then what's going to end up happening is the government is going to make you pick trash up on the highway or somewhere else. And you know, in San Antonio, it gets to be 100 degrees, and with the humidity, feels like 110. So it's completely up to you if you want to use this to better yourself or not. You understand?
Thank you.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice, and there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. So that no unsupervised contacts with minors, that includes your child. So that means your mom needs to supervise. If you get to the point where I think it's appropriate for you to have unsupervised visits, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So did your mom adopt him?
No, we're actually, I was actually in the process of giving custody to my mom.
Okay, well, you probably need to do that. All right, we can go off the record. To be successful in this court, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though you may end up using, let your probation officer know. Your attorney will tell you that if there is a drug issue, then, you know, try to get help for it. I don't normally revoke people if they're calling probation saying, hey, I'm going to use. And probation on his case, could you add 60 sober meetings in 60 days, please? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, court is calling 2021 CR 8755 State versus Phillip Harris. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Joseph Pelt for the defense.
And are you Mr. Harris?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're charged with the offense of injury to a child, reckless bodily injury. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to the maximum sentence? Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There'll be 50 hours community service restitution, no contact with Caitlin Woods or the complainant, anger management, TAP evaluation, and follow all recommendations. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
With permission of the court, yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Harris, he actually resides in Lawrenceville, Georgia, which is in Gwinnett County, Georgia.
Mhm.
That's where he before he got picked up on this warrant, Judge, he was gainfully employed with Delta Airlines as a ramp agent. He
Mhm.
believes that job is still available to him, being that he has family members that works there as well, and he believes it's held open for him. He wants to get this particular chapter of his life behind him and moving down the road in a positive manner. He does live with his mother currently, along with his significant other, Demetria, with whom he has a 2-year-old child. And he wants to put that as his main focus after he finishes this, because he wants to make sure that this never happens again.
Explain something to me. Why are adults out here having children and then have to go move back in their mom, in with their mom and their child? I'm sure your mom doesn't want that. Now your mom has to be a parent to a 2-year-old. She shouldn't have to be the parent to because she's the grandmother. So your significant other, and maybe this doesn't have anything to do with the price of peaches, we shall see. Your significant other who's living in your mom's home, does she have employment?
Yes.
So what that means is you're using the grandmother of your child as a babysitter. Does she charge you for that?
No, she does not charge.
See, this is people taking advantage. This is what I always say. When people want to decide to have children, you know what they need to do before they have a child? They need to say, all right, let me sit down and talk with the grandmother. Will you be willing to be more than just a grandmother and be a full-time babysitter and daycare person? Oh, and by the way, can we live with you because we can't afford to live on our own and we can't afford a daycare? People just out here in the streets having children and expecting other family members to step up and take over their position. When if you can't afford a child, honestly, you should be thinking about that before having a child. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then this lady here in this complaint, was your name on that apartment?
No.
Then why do you think you should be there? And then she said, you all got into argument and she just want to leave because you're cheating on her. Were you cheating on her?
No.
Well, she thinks you were. So woman's intuition, and she just want to leave. But before she can even leave, you take off in her car. Was that car in her name or your name?
My name.
All right. So you take off and leave. You come back to apartment that is not in your name, and you're throwing rocks through a window, like Ernest T. from Andy Griffin. Who does that? You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there's $1,000 fine. It's going to be probated, affirmative finding of family violence, 4 years deferred adjudication, 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, anger management. And we'll do a transfer to Gwinnett County, GWINNETT County in Georgia. TAP evaluation. Follow Rex. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. There's to be no contact with Caitlin, KAITLYN Woods, or Elias, ELIAS Woods. Proof of employment within 30 days of release, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And if they have field visits in Gwinnett, then it's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor. You showed me everything.
All right, and we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Since your mom is taking care of your child, being a daycare for your child, sometimes she gonna need a break. Sometimes you and your wife, you know what you should get together to do? Let her leave, give her money so she can go to a restaurant and just get away from it all. And then if she has a curfew with people and she don't want people coming in her house at 1 a.m., don't do that. You need to do that at your own house. You understand?
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
don't go to her saying, but me and my wife need a break from our child, because guess what? She's not getting a break. It's 24/7. So
Yes.
make sure you give her a break. and do not have any more children until you're ready to have your own daycare, because people get in a habit and they say, oh, well, let's have another child, grandmother to take care of her. She wants to enjoy her downtime. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck
I
to you.
appreciate all the, everything you tell me.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
And tell your grandma, tell your mom you love her.
Will.
All right,
Thank
good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes.
Good luck to you.
All right, we're gonna take our lunch break.